All right, guys, welcome back to the studio. Look what's up on my work table today. This is the complete drivetrain of the RC Winnebago, the vintage Tonka RV that I recently acquired in a trade. I didn't know what the axles were before when I did the unboxing video. If you didn't see it, I'll leave it in the video description box down below. But these are HPI Crawler King axles. They do have aluminum steering knuckles both on the front and on the back. So I think at one time this may have been thought that somebody would be setting up rear steer. I like that idea. The other thing that was very cool about it is it does have an RC four-wheel drive. I believe this is an R1 transmission. The 35-turn brush motor pushing out. This metal transmission on the inside here has very big gears, very strong and tough. These pushing out the power either side to these axles. But these axles are actually unlocked diffs. So I thought to myself, why the heck would you want to have unlocked diffs? And of course it made sense for such a long vehicle, long wheelbase, that if it was 4x4, it would have a really hard time turning without doing a little bit of hopping. So I thought, because of the low clearance issues of this axle, you can see, especially with an unlocked diff, if you get a rock pushing against the front diff cover, the housing there, you can run into some traction issues. So I thought, okay, this transmission was actually right in the middle. And the back battery plate was put right underneath the axle, but it's got a very low suspension. So when the suspension went up and down, it would get close and you could only fit a 2S lipo in there. So I thought, I want to change this over so where it is waterproof, where we do have power, and why not incorporate this rear steer idea? Also giving it a little bit of a raise off the ground. Ryan, I know you're watching right now, buddy, and I know that you said if you're going to unload this RV onto somebody, it had to go to the right place. So I hope what I've done has met your expectations, of course. I noticed I took the original framework that was here, kind of ground down some of the sharp edges on there. This whole frame attaches to the body with 4 screws, 2 on this side, 2 on this side. It's ingenious and very quick. Now look at what I've done. You may be noticing already, this is an ESC and this is an ESC. For those that are new to the RC hobby, these are basically motor controllers. Most vehicles only have one motor controller. Now, one of these is the original AE5 that came with it that ran that motor there. Why would I need 2 of these? Have a look underneath. So, individual motor power. This is a 30-turn hand-wound high-torque servo on a RC four-wheel drive, all aluminum, upgraded, Bully 2 competition rock crawling axle. Man, that was hard to remember to say. But by installing this and having a motor on axle setup, I was able to remove the entire transmission out of the middle and these 2 drive lines, really where I can fit a nice big 3S lipo battery underneath here to drive both axles that are motor on axle. Now, all aluminum, lots of steering clearance. Now check that out. Even though I do have my endpoint set slightly smaller on my radio so they don't rub the inner links. I also changed these tires. I know that the white tires were beautiful. I still have them, of course. These are great, and out for non-winter driving, these tires are fantastic, but I want outcropper style tires here where I have plenty of traction on these. And to incorporate the rear steer idea, my friends, of course, we went with 2 waterproof servos. This will help avoid any kind of hopping issues, right, with having the driveline and both diffs are locked now. Just direct drive transmissions located on each axle. And this is where the other battery placement was. So if you had any movement there, this wasn't as low. This is the link hanger here. This wasn't as low on the other axle, but still you could only have have limited suspension. Now, for a big heavy rig like this RV is, you don't really want a lot of suspension. You want it to be a little bit on the stiffer side, but still have the articulating power. It may seem stiff to you guys right now, but the weight of the frame itself, or pardon me, the weight of the body itself offsets that quite a bit. So what do you think? There you go. I even went in, rewired everything. These are leads for bucket lights. I already have it put in here. A lot of people may have questions that are building similar things to this of how did I set up 2 ESCs on one receiver? And the answer is, my friends, just a simple Y connector. Here is a Y connector. So I connected one ESC there, connected the other ESC there, and this goes into the receiver. Some of you that are more technically inclined would say, well, wouldn't that make the motor spin in opposite directions? And because I'm using brushed motors, all I did was reverse the wires for one of them, which makes the motor run in reverse. So there you go. Same thing with the steering setup. A lot of people will be wondering if I'm using a dual stick radio for this. I'm not. I'm actually using my Spectrum with my all thumbs there from Jason Hoy and Hoy Fab, which is awesome because when I'm filming, I can film with one hand and control my RC with the other. You must be wondering about the dual setup for the servos on the steering. So what I did was I simply went in here and I put the second servo on the auxiliary 2, and the aux 2 I set up on a 3-position switch on my E switch. So when I push one way, the tires turn back, push the other way, it goes to the middle, and then when I push the opposite way, you'll see the tires turn. Here's just a regular 3-cell that I have. It was a Venom, just got wet and peeled off the label on it. Normally, I will be mounting this battery underneath where I showed, but just to show you right now, we'll put it up back. Folks may be wondering also, how did I link 2 ESCs to the battery? I simply made a connector, really easy. Female plug, adjoining both ESCs, just like this Y connector for the servo. I made a Y connector for the power. Since each ESC is getting the proper power, the BEC is able to regulate the proper power for these Savox waterproof servos. These are the 1210 SGs, really high power and quick, but I'll show you how I got around the quickness so it looked more scale. Tires on the front. Notice that it doesn't turn super fast. I was able to go into my Spectrum radio here. It really depends on the type of radio you guys have. I went down to servo speed, and I simply turned my steering down to 20%, as well as my auxiliary channel. I guess it's aux 1, where I set up the other steering. So when you turn it down, it makes it nice and slow. So other people that are running scale trucks and you're running this Spectrum and you do have that option, remember, if you have a fast servo, you can still keep it powerful, but you don't need to have it always at full speed. Same on the back. Here we go with the switch. One way, back, and then the other way. Now this was super fast as well, but again, just like I showed you on aux 1, I turned the speed down so it doesn't look like it's just cranking to the side super fast. These servos are awesome for all types of cars, but for a scale rig, I like it to be a little bit slower. So, control throttle, back, forward. I also have my exponential set. A lot of folks may not know what exponential is. It's right here on the radio. Exponential actually allows you to change your input. For example, on my throttle input, I've got it at 69%. So when I actually push forward, it's quite slow on the crawl. It just doesn't go to straight power. Now you see when I push into reverse, it was super fast. So I can also change that right here, just like I showed on my throttle. Go down to the bottom, put it into the reverse, and then I can change this exponential. Let's put it all the way up to, well, let's just put it at the same, 70, 80, why not? Just to really exaggerate the point. So here's forward again. See how much I squeeze the trigger, and then in reverse, I have to push that trigger quite a ways before it starts to go. So a lot more control on your actual crawl speed can be done through exponential. So here's the body upside down. I do have a contest going on until New Year's Day, and I'll put a link in the video description box so you too can get one of these hard bodies. I have a second vintage Tonka, still with the hard tires on it, that you can convert if you want, because look at how simple it is. Pick up the chassis, drop it on. Once your suspension's set up, just attach it with 4 screws, you're good to go. 1, 2, there it is in all its glory. Looks like the wheels are a little bit big. That's exactly probably why he was running the white ones there. That's okay. I'll have to see what kind of clearance issues we have. It doesn't look like it wants to rub at all. Just it looks a little bit off, but that's okay. I can work with that. There we go. Look at the clearance underneath now. So much better. Gonna have to add some different spring rates in the back, maybe just to lift it up a tiny bit. But check it out. Nice and strong, but slow. I can make it even slower if I want. Just depends on if I'm doing a film or if I'm out just having fun. Aha! Check it out. Yes, that quad is RC on the back there. I don't have the controller for it set up with me right now, but we will be taking this out on a great RC adventure soon enough. I want to work out the steering, the wheel length obviously on the back. Needs a little bit of work back there just for the length of the links. So overall, I'm very, very happy. If you guys want to check out how I made that hunting quad, I do have a video. I'll link it in the video description box down below. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you've had fun and maybe you've learned a few things. And you, of course, are inspired to get outside and enjoy the hobby of RC. Until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Bye.